he's one of the best coaches I've ever played for, if not the best. And got a good relationship with Goody and the O-line guys. And so I understand this offense. I've been in it long enough now where, it was nice. I mean, I really didn't have a meeting before my first full pad practice, and I was able to just go out and kind of pick up right where I left off, So I think that's obviously a thing. I think they trust me. They've put me in some situations where they trust me and know that I'm going to know the system and not make mental errors. So I hope that's what I can bring here.
Tell me what the offseason was like in terms of when you first started talking with them, if there were any conversations before just the last few weeks here.
Yeah, there was a couple conversations early, and then the whole COVID thing hit, and then kind of everything kind of went on hold, and especially for veteran guys, there was it was quite an interesting year, obviously, for free agency. I mean, there's still plenty of guys who were pretty much everyday starters last year who still don't have jobs at this point. So it's definitely an interesting year, especially with the salary cap and different things for next year. So we just held tight. Teams started to kind of pick up once pads went on. We started hearing from more teams and kind of had some situations elsewhere, and then this Tampa thing kind of fell into it about a week ago, and then they were able to get me down here.
Thanks.
And next is going to be Rick Stroud.
Hey, we talked to BA about you, and of course everybody knows your story where you were drafted. Everybody said, your arms were too short, and here you are, 15, 16 years later. So what do you attribute just your longevity to? And when you look at your career, what are you the most proud about?
Yeah, I mean, I think just coming from where I came from in Pittsburgh, I think it's a breeder's ground for hard work and work ethic. And I think that kind of was instilled in me from a young age from my dad and, my mom, obviously. And so there was a point where, I probably had a pretty decorated college career, and then things didn't kind of go my way the first couple of years in the NFL. And then I was like, man, I know I can do this. I just need an opportunity. I finally did, and I finally got it. And then once I did, I just kind of, I kept grinding, and like my whole mindset was like, listen, like I'm going to be the smartest guy on the field. They're always going to be able to trust me in a situation, and then my physical, aspects will be able to take over from there. And so that's kind of just where I've always kind of prided myself in, and here we are.
Thanks.
Okay, next is going to be Jenna Lane.
Hey, Q, welcome to Tampa.
Thank you.
I know that you're still kind of getting your bearings and everything, but you've had an opportunity to line up with Tom Brady and everything, and you've played with some great quarterbacks already. What stands out about this one? What stands out about him to you?
He's obviously the greatest of all time. I mean, I think his Super Bowls speak for themselves, but just the way he approaches it. I mean, the good ones I've been around, regardless of how good they are, regardless of how long they've played, they still approach the mental aspect of the game almost like a rookie. They're still first in, last out. They grind over every mistake. They grind over, the scheme and the process of the practice week and things like that. Obviously I've only been here 3 or 4 days, but just watching his approach to the game, it's special to watch, and just the finer details. And for a guy that's done it as long as he has, and that's an unbelievable leader to be able to, as a young guy, and all the way up through this team, to be able to kind of look out there and say, that's how you're supposed to do it. So it's pretty special to watch.
We always talk about how quickly he gets the ball leaves his hand and everything. But can you just talk about some of the other things that he does exceptionally well, like that help you with your job? Like, he's very active at the line of scrimmage. You can see him talking. He's obviously a very savvy guy. How does that all help you with what you're doing?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Communication's key. And when you have a quarterback that understands defense as well as he does, and is able to kind of work hand in hand with obviously the center, and just be able to kind of talk through Mike points, understand different coverages, because they see things differently from a coverage standpoint than we may see from a blitz standpoint. So there's all that. And then I think one of the most underrated things with the good ones that I've been around, and he's got an unbelievable one, is cadence. You can get quick fives and easy fives all the time with cadence, and he has an unbelievable cadence and handles that like a general at the line of scrimmage.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And next is John Ledyard.
Hey, Q, question for you about your positional versatility. I know early in your career you played some guard and then were mostly a center after that. Do you know if the Bucs see you as kind of an option at both of those positions, center and guard, or maybe right and left guard? So all three spots. And if so, what are kind of the differences or the challenges at each spot as you transition from one to the other?
Yeah, I'm not sure I mean, what they want me to. I'm here to do whatever they want me to do, though. So I have started games at guard, and I feel comfortable there. But center is my most comfortable position. I've been there, the last 8 years or 9 years, whatever it is, and um, the difference is the challenge is, I mean, when you're a guard and the center slides away, I mean, you're basically a tackle on the backside. You're on an island. It's 1-on-1. So you got to be firm in pass protection. When you're at guard, center, you're working. I wouldn't say physically is maybe the most hardest thing, but mentally, that's your biggest job, is kind of getting the other four on the same page, getting the quarterback kind of locked in and all that stuff. So there's some different challenges on both ends. Physical, more physical, I think, at the guard, and more mental at the center position.
That's great. When Tom Brady first got to Tampa Bay, we kind of heard and talked a lot about, okay, is the offense going to look different at all? Because what he ran in New England is going to be different from what Bruce Arians has run. And you've obviously been with Bruce for a while, and you know what his offense looks like without Brady's impact. Have you noticed any differences or changes coming from the offense Arians ran before in Arizona and seeing now what this offense looks like in Tampa Bay? Have you noticed any differences or changes where Brady might have had an impact?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few wrinkles. I think I think they probably got together, and I think I read some things over the thing that Bruce said. It's a lot easier for one guy to learn a new thing versus the other guys. So I think he's sticking with what he does. I think there's probably a few wrinkles that they've kind of talked about and discussed, and we'll leave it at that. But I mean, I think there's going to be a couple different nuances that maybe I'm used to, maybe that Bruce is used to. But at the end of the day, for the most part, it's BA's system and style, and that's what he's going to do.
Thanks.
The last one's going to come from Greg Allman.
Hey, Q, I just want to ask you, you seem fine out there physically this week. I want to ask you what you did during obviously a long pause in the offseason to keep yourself kind of physically ready to jump in like this.
Yeah, you Tampa media probably know the name. He was my right guard last year, J.R. Sweezy, and he lived right down the street from me. So we were able to. I have a pretty solid gym set up at my house out in Arizona, and so we were able to kind of get together, and it was nice because it wasn't just me by myself or him by himself or whatever. We were able to kind of do some things. We stayed safe, obviously, but we were able to get some good work in this whole offseason. I kind of approached it, to be ready for the start of training camp. So I was ready at the start, and then, just continued to train until I got that call. And then I feel good. It's a little different getting used to this humidity because there's none in Arizona, but for the most part, yeah, I feel pretty good. I mean, physically, it's just, I think by next week I'll start to get accustomed to this humidity.
Thank you.
All right, that's all for today. Thanks for taking the time, AQ.
You got it, guys.